You never stop complaining that you're surrounded by idiots, right? That your boss is stupid, your friends don't get anything, that the internet has turned into a madhouse. But I'm going to ask you a question that's going to hurt. What if you're the idiot? No, wait. Before you run away, hear me out. Because what I discovered is going to flip your world upside down. There's a scientific, brutal, and inescapable reason why you're always finding limited people out there. And that reason has more to do with you than with them. You know that feeling that everyone got dumber over the past few years? That people lost the ability to think? Yeah, it's not your imagination, but it's also not what you think. If this already hit you, comment "reality hurt" down below. I read everything, because today you're going to understand why your life turned into a minefield of frustrations, and, more importantly, how to get out of it. Let me explain something no Instagram coach will tell you. You're not surrounded by idiots because the world got worse. You're surrounded by idiots because you changed. That's right. Every year that passes, you lose more illusions about people. You stop believing that everyone thinks like you, that everyone has your same priorities, your same values. It's like you're taking off life's rose-colored glasses. And then what happens? You start seeing raw reality, that most people are on autopilot, that they repeat behaviors without questioning, that they prefer the comfort of ignorance to the discomfort of truth. But here comes the plot twist. While one idiot disappears inside you, thousands of idiots appear around you, like they sprouted from the ground. You know why? Because the more conscious you become, the more unconscious others seem. It's like when you learn to drive. At first, everyone on the road seemed to drive well. After you become an expert, you notice everyone's driving wrong. The difference isn't the other drivers. The difference is your trained eye. And this leaves you in an unbearable situation. You want intelligent communication in a world that prefers memes. You want depth in a society addicted to surface. Now comes the part that's really going to hurt. Because I'm going to accuse you of something. You're creating your own idiots. How? Simple. Every time you look at someone and think, "What a limited person," you're creating distance. You're putting yourself in a position of superiority that prevents any real exchange. You become that arrogant guy who thinks he knows everything. And you know what happens when you treat someone like an idiot. That person becomes an idiot in your presence. They freeze up, they shut down, they say stupid things. Not because they are idiots, but because you created an environment where they can only be idiots. It's like that friend of yours who turns into a 12-year-old in front of his parents. It's not that he regressed, it's that the environment activated a specific version of his personality. You're doing the same thing. Your attitude of intellectual superiority is creating impoverished versions of the people around you. You enter a conversation already judging, already categorized, already impatient. How do you expect someone to be brilliant under those conditions? And then you still complain that you can't find anyone interesting to talk to. Dude, you're killing people's interesting potential before they even open their mouths. The truth is, you've become a toxic environment for intelligent conversations. And this isn't other people's fault. It's your responsibility. I'm going to destroy another one of your illusions. There are no smart people and dumb people. There are people adapted to different worlds. That person you call an idiot might be a genius at solving family conflicts, at surviving on little money, at maintaining lasting relationships. Things you might be a complete disaster at. But you can't see this because you're trapped in your bubble, in your narrow definition of what intelligence is. For you, only someone who reads the same books as you is smart, who has the same existential concerns, who can debate philosophy. This is arrogance disguised as intellect. You know what happens? Each person adapted to a specific world during childhood, a world made of unique experiences, traumas, opportunities, and limitations, and that adaptation created a personality, a way of seeing and reacting to life. The person who grew up in a family where yelling was normal will react differently from you, who grew up in a family where everything was resolved through conversation. Neither of you is wrong. You're just speaking different languages, but you turned difference into deficiency. You turned "doesn't think like me" into "can't think," and this left you isolated in an ivory tower, looking down at the world and finding everyone small. The painful truth: you're not superior, you're just disconnected. And this disconnection is costing you relationships, opportunities, and mainly, the chance to learn from people who know things you can't even imagine. So how do you solve this? The solution is brutal and simple. Stop trying to change the idiots and start understanding their world. I'm not telling you to agree with everything. I'm telling you to do an exercise that will revolutionize your relationships. For 1 week, every time someone says something you consider idiotic instead of judging, ask, why would an intelligent person think this way? Because here's the secret. Even the most absurd opinion makes sense within the world of whoever has it. Your job isn't to agree. It's to understand the world where that idea is logical. That friend of yours who believes in conspiracy theories? In his world, trusting institutions has already brought disappointment. Distrust became a form of protection. That aunt of yours who shares fake news. In her world, information always came from authority sources, TV, newspaper, pastor. She hasn't learned to navigate the internet sea of information yet. The change begins when you trade judgment for curiosity. Instead of how stupid, try how interesting. Why does she think this way? And here comes the craziest part. When you do this, people stop being idiots in your presence. They feel respected, they open up, they show nuances you never saw, because you created a safe environment for them to be intelligent. It's simple, but it goes against all your superiority instincts. The question is, can you do it? But I already know what you're thinking. Okay, but what about when the person is really limited? When they say one stupid thing after another? Do I have to pretend they're intelligent? This resistance you're feeling right now is exactly the problem. You're so addicted to feeling superior that the idea of taking people out of the idiot place makes you uncomfortable. Like you're gonna lose something, and you will lose something. You're gonna lose the nice feeling of always being right. You're gonna lose the sadistic pleasure of finding fault with everyone. You're gonna lose the perfect excuse to not connect with anyone, because it's easier to label someone as an idiot than to do the hard work of understanding a different perspective. It's more comfortable to live in your bubble than to risk discovering that you also have gigantic blind spots. You're afraid of discovering that that limited person knows things about life, about relationships, about resilience, that would make you feel like a crybaby. You prefer to keep them in the idiot place because it protects your ego. The truth is, you use the idiot label as armor, protection against the possibility of being wrong, of needing to review your positions, of admitting you still have a lot to learn. And while you're defending this armor, you're gonna stay alone, surrounded by idiots who are actually people you're preventing from being intelligent with you. Now let me tell you something that's gonna change how you see the world. Idiocy is a relational phenomenon. It doesn't exist alone. It only exists in the interaction between two people. This means that when you call someone an idiot, you're talking about that person as much as about yourself. You're revealing the limits of your world, not just the limits of theirs. Because here's the raw reality. Everyone has gaps in their knowledge. Everyone has blind spots. Everyone was shaped by limited experiences. The difference is that some admit this and others create defense mechanisms. You created a defense mechanism called intellectual superiority. Every time you encounter something you don't understand or can't relate to, instead of admitting your limitation, you label it as idiot and discard it. But what if I told you that every idiot you encounter is actually a mirror showing an area where your world needs to expand, a growth opportunity you're rejecting? Think about it. If you were really as evolved as you think, you'd be able to find value in any perspective. You'd be able to translate any language. You'd be able to connect with any type of intelligence. The fact that you find so many idiots doesn't prove the world is full of dumb people. It proves you still have a lot to learn about communication, empathy, and mental flexibility. And here comes the final twist. The wisest people I've met in life had one characteristic in common. They could find wisdom in the most unexpected places. In the drunk on the corner, in the 5-year-old kid, in the retiree who only talks about football. Not because these people were disguised geniuses, but because they developed the ability to extract gold from any type of ore. They understood that wisdom isn't a diploma on the wall. It's a way of looking at the world. So now you have a real choice ahead of you. And this choice is going to define the type of person you're going to be for the next few years. Choice 1. Stay in your intellectual comfort zone. Keep labeling everyone who thinks differently as an idiot. Keep feeling superior while isolating yourself more and more. It's the easiest path, and it'll take you exactly where you are now, frustrated and alone. Choice 2. Do the hard work of expanding your world. Start seeing idiocy as an invitation to growth. Trade judgment for curiosity. Trade superiority for humility. It's the hardest path, but it's the only one that takes you somewhere different. Because here's what's going to happen if you choose path 2. You're going to discover that the world is full of interesting people disguised as idiots. You're going to discover forms of intelligence you didn't even know existed. You're going to develop the rarest skill that exists today, the ability to connect with any type of person. But there's a price. You're going to have to kill your ego. You're going to have to admit your parents didn't teach you everything, that your college didn't prepare you for everything, that your books don't explain everything. You're going to have to accept that you're also an idiot in many areas of life, and that this isn't a weakness, it's an opportunity. The question I leave you with is simple. Do you have the courage to trade the feeling of always being right for the possibility of always learning? If this video hit you hard, and I know it did because you made it this far, I need you to do 4 things right now. First, hit that like button if this content changed something in your head. That like shows me I'm on the right track and motivates me to keep bringing this raw reality to you. Second, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because I post videos every week exposing these uncomfortable truths that nobody has the courage to talk about, and you don't want to miss the next one. Third, share this video with that person who's always complaining they're surrounded by idiots. They need to hear this, and maybe you're exactly the person who can plant this seed in their life. Fourth, comment below answering this question. What was the last time you changed your mind about someone you had labeled as an idiot? I read all the comments and respond personally. Your story can inspire other people, and if you want to go deeper into this subject, there's a video here on the channel that'll perfectly complement what you just watched. Why smart people make stupid choices. Click on the suggestion I left for you. Remember, making it this far is already a sign. But acting after this, and that's another story. See you in the next video, and thanks for having the courage to face this uncomfortable truth with me.